Hello, everybody. Texas De La Rosa here. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to talk about this today, this topic, because I feel like this is something that needs to be said, and this is going to be really geared towards my cosmetic tattoo professionals group and any of the PMU artists that are actually watching this channel. And also, this could also be for anyone that's starting a business. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about in the industry, and I think it's really important. So I wanted to talk about it today. And that is this a get rich quick scheme? Are people thinking that they can just get into permanent makeup and make $800 a person and they have 4 clients a day? That's what? $1,200. For 3 people, $1,200, 1,600 for 4 people. Are we making that money? Are you doing that? So I kind of wanted to talk about that today because I feel like this is something, again, that a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to do this as a side hustle and I'm going to get this career, on the side and and do all this. And I'm going to take these 2 classes and get really good. And it just doesn't work like that. And a lot of people don't want to say this and they don't want to talk about it. And they don't want to talk about all of the work that goes into becoming a seasoned artist and becoming someone that is actually making money and building a reputation in the industry. And so I find that so many people that see the success that some people have, and they're not really getting the full picture. They're not getting the whole entire enchilada, as it were. So I'm going to talk about that. There was a great post the other day that my friend and colleague, that I would like to call her because I do use her stuff, and she's amazing, Jen Boyd. If you don't know who Jen Boyd is, she is fantastic. She has her own line, the Brow Slayer blades for microblading. She has needles. She has a supply store. She was an educator and also an artist out in California. Now she's in Florida. She's just an amazing person. She has, again, some of the best microblading blades that I've ever used, and they're so sharp, amazing, really, really good company. And she also has her own pigment line through LI. And I use it regularly, and I use it in my classes to teach with because it's such a good brow line and it's so wonderful. And the colors feel very true. They fade out really natural, so they don't have any weird hues or anything. They are a hybrid line. So if you want to do anything about if you want to pick up any of her stuff, I should say, check her out. Check out her. She has her own group too as well. It is called the Microblading Advice and Tips group. And she's an admin on there, and she's just amazing. So she posted. And it was right after someone had posted about being discouraged about the fact that they weren't getting any business. They were, they were busy for a minute, then they weren't busy, and then they've got kids and this and that, and they've been posting ads on Facebook, and there's just no one biting and all this stuff, and something that, again, a lot of people don't talk about is the startup of a business, And she posted something, and I'm going to read it for her. It says, it said, "Is it just me, or do people still think PMU is a get-rich-quick career?" She says, "Every day someone posts about wanting to switch to PMU so they can have more free time, make more money, and do less. Who told them this lie?" And it's with the little smiley face emoji. And she goes, "And then there's me telling them the truth and crushing their dreams. I can't help but feel bad, but I definitely feel worse not being honest. What do you say to those who think PMU is the easy way out of their current career or lack thereof? I keep it 100% and I let them know what it takes. Many educators still use the 6-figure business marketing scheme. What do you feel about it?" Okay, Jen, I'm going to answer this question because I find that, yes, I think a lot of people do think I'm going to jump ship. I think a lot of people, especially now that, we were dealing with COVID and there were a lot of people that were possibly, deciding on maybe shifting gears. Maybe they had jobs they didn't like, and now they want to switch and do something different. And maybe they had a creative bone in their body and they decided they wanted to run with it. I think a lot of people think that, again, because we charge what we charge, some of us veterans that have been around for a long time charge a lot, and we charge a lot because we've been around for a while and we're doing really good work. We have, healed work that comes back, and we have this, large resume and this large portfolio of work. And so people think that, oh, well, look at them, they're doing it, and I'm kind of like him, I can do that. Or I'm kind of like her, I can do that. but they don't understand that we had to earn our stripes. We had to earn our stripes and do things that, some people don't understand how hard it was. I'll talk about I've already talked about my story and another, actually when I did it was I was on 14 Micro. Gosh, I think it was back in September. And I did their live conference that they did. And it talked about my startup and how I started off in the industry. And guys, I started in makeup and then rolled into PMU, and then it rolled into laser, and then it rolled into more things and that sort of stuff. But guys, I'm going to tell you, starting up a business, no matter what it is not easy. It is not something that is for the faint of heart. It's not for those people that want to jump around and get a good idea here and a good idea here and a good idea here, and then decide that they're going to run with it. And then when it doesn't work in 10 days, they jump ship. And I have friends like that. I have people that I have that I've tried to coach into doing things and sticking with it, and they don't do it. And it's not that they're failing because because they're bad at what they're doing. Some of them are great at what they're doing, but they don't have the drive or the focus, or they don't understand that it's not always going to happen right after you take a course or right after you open up your business. I mean, people just don't fall from the sky and oh my God, I'm so booked. It doesn't happen like that, guys. And then there's seasons where sometimes people are slower, and so I wanted to talk about that today. So, for instance, again, I started off in makeup, guys. I was not a successful makeup artist. I mean, I was busy, I was working, but I wasn't what I would call a quote unquote successful makeup artist for at least probably a good 5 years of my career. I mean, I did so much free work. I did so much free work. I didn't realize when I started my business how much money it was going to cost in getting just, my cosmetics, my makeup, my brushes, my bags, my makeup train, my wardrobe, all black, and just everything. And then, doing a lot of the free work I did. I worked for magazine companies. I put myself out there for wedding venues, and I did so much stuff for free to get my name out there, and this is before Facebook, and actually it was more MySpace, I think, and even probably before MySpace. I didn't have social media. We didn't have social media. So many people are relying on social media to get their work out there, and it's a great tool, but you can't just rely on that. You have to actually have something that people want to go see, go do, get done, have done, meet you. You are selling you when it comes down to a service, because there's a lot of people doing makeup in my area. There's a lot of people doing microblading, permanent makeup, all that. Why are they coming to see me? What is it that I have that's different? And so I didn't know a lot of this stuff when I got into makeup and when I started my own business. It was very difficult. And so I didn't know if I was ever going to make it or become a veteran or become a celebrity artist or any of the things that some people strive to have and have on their little, their tag on their social media, celebrity makeup artist, whatever. I just didn't know about any of that stuff. I just knew that it was something I wanted to do and that I loved it and I loved helping people, and I knew that I had to stick with it. And it was really interesting. I was actually out with friends last night and I ran into one of my old bosses from when I was a waiter and a bartender back at a restaurant. When I was, in my early 20s, it was my first job in Austin, actually, working in a restaurant. And I believe I was 19. I think it was 1999. And I remember I was just turning 20 the next month. It was in May. I moved in April. And it was so funny. I was so excited to see him. His name's Tim. I was so excited to see Tim because I hadn't seen him in maybe 5 or 6 years. And we saw him out and about, and he pulled me aside and he told me, "I'm so proud of you." And it just made my heart swell, because he was like, "I'm so proud of you because I always knew you had drive. You've always been the person that I knew was going to do something with yourself, because you never stopped, and you've had hiccups, and you've had, roadblocks, and you've went around them, you've jumped them, you've done things." And it was just such a cool experience to hear something from a restaurateur and someone who has been a leader in his world in the restaurateur business and working for companies for so many years, and for him to be such a successful man, and then for him to say that about me as I was growing and becoming now a 42-year-old man, and whatever. It was just really nice. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I did stick with it. I had lots of hard work. It was not me getting published in magazines and published in books and being called by Netflix and companies like, whatever. It wasn't like that. Working for Warner, working for Rooster Teeth, working for these companies, it just didn't fall from the sky, guys. And it was a lot of work. And you know what? Again, it's about putting yourself out there. The cost of starting up a business, again, is so very much. I'm not saying this stuff to discourage you from doing it and having a dream. I had a dream and I wanted to fulfill that dream. But what I want to tell you is that it is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 1 month. It's not going to happen in 2 months. It's not going to happen in probably 1 or 2 years. You're going to have to keep, keep going, keep pushing, keep trying, keep taking, if you can't take all the courses, then focus on some things. Someone said something the other day about it. I'm in a group that they were talking about, well, if you are taking all these courses, you're never going to get good at one thing, and then you're going to just be spending all this money. And I agree with that. If you're trying to learn too much and you don't really know what you're doing, then yes, maybe you should focus on a few things instead of taking so many courses. But a lot of us that are artists out there get pretty good sometimes kind of quickly about things. Not gonna lie, I was really this kind of flew. It flew very easily to me to do permanent makeup after doing makeup and after working on skin and then getting into the world that I got into. It's always been kind of second nature for me. I don't know. I like being around people. I like working on skin. I like helping people. So this is kind of the perfect world for me, right? But again, that's not for everybody, And so again, it's funny because I agree with that statement. Don't learn too much, but then I also say, hey, if you know your demographic, like I just had a student in for learning eyelash enhancement, and she just did brows a few months back, but she keeps getting asked in her spot in her town for eyeliner, And so if people are asking for a service and you don't know how to do it, you're sending them somewhere else, right? Well, then now you've lost money. So know your demographic. Look in your area. What are people doing? If your area is overly saturated with brows, then maybe you should add lips or eyeliner or scalp pigmentation or areola restoration, scar revision, scar restoration. Maybe you should add some of those services to your resume because then you will be doing something that other people are not. So I'm going to talk about just the startup real quickly. When people want to start a business, some people don't even know where to go. I would highly recommend getting a lawyer. I would highly recommend getting someone that can help you start things done the right way legally. You want to know why? I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't know. I went to my bank and I knew that my bank, I needed to get a bank account for my business, and then the guy helped me. I was with Chase, and they were very helpful, and they helped me grow and understand that I needed a business account and a CPA and blah 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 and all the things. And for the first couple of years, I didn't have a CPA because I really didn't have a need for one because I wasn't really making a lot of money. All of the things that I did were kind of free. And so it was kind of like my money was just going towards anything I did make was going directly into my business and going back into putting more brushes into my kit, more makeup into my kit, more foundations, more things, and building it. So I did that for quite some time before I actually got to a point where I was actually making money and making a living off of it. I will say this: I had a plan. I always had a plan. I always had a little nest egg, and I always knew that I was going to work and do other jobs, meaning that yes, sometimes you will have to have a part-time job to support your passion until it becomes a thing that now you're making money at. Now I don't do those things anymore. I don't bartend anymore. I don't really do a lot of weddings anymore that I had to do in the past, because that was something that I did because of, I made really good money doing weddings, and I could work one day and make $2,000 or $3,000, depending on the size of the wedding. It was something, but just nothing I really wanted to do. I wanted to do other things, but I had to do these jobs first to then get to from point A to point B and be successful. I used all of that time working in the bar industry, bartending, waiting tables, doing stuff like that. I use that also to help build my business. I always had business cards on me, and I always told people what I did. And so it would be funny sometimes when I would see people when I was working at this, I worked at this blow dry bar called Blow for many years. I think it was like 5 or 6 years, and I worked there. I was just a 1099. I didn't actually work for the company, but I would come in and hang out, on Saturdays and Fridays or whatever, and make do makeup for people and that sort of thing. And it was funny because I would sometimes see those people in the restaurants that I was working on. Then I would see them at Blow getting their hair blown out, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you do makeup too!" And then I might see them again at a different place because sometimes I was working a couple of jobs at a time, and I might see them at a bar I was bartending at downtown. And it was funny because they were like, "God, you work everywhere." And you know what? I busted my ass because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't ever gonna fall flat and be broke and not have money for food. I mean, I've been there, guys. Let me tell you, humble beginnings, when I couldn't afford my $375 a month apartment efficiency in Barton Hills. There were times when I was like, oh God, do I have the money for that? Crazy, but I didn't have the money because I was putting money into my school and learning things, and it was hard. It was very hard, guys. And I remember, and I tell these stories of eating rice and black beans and pecane sauce and tuna because that was like all I could really afford back then. Or like eating when I worked at this one restaurant, we would get free pasta and red sauce. I would take that and take a bunch of it home and eat that. And then at one restaurant I was working at, I would eat beans and rice. I would get free beans and rice, so I'd get some of that, and then I'd get my dollar worth of tortillas and 50 cents worth of cheese and take it home and make my little bean and cheese burritos. Guys, I've had humble beginnings. So when I never had anyone to invest in me and give me money to start a business. And so I understand what it's like to start a business. I understand what it's like to start from the ground level. And you're like, what do I do? So what I want to put out there is that, guys, if you're starting something, you need to have some sort of money, some sort of capital to put into your business so that when you are not making any money that month because you've only had one or two clients and you're like, gosh, I can't charge $800 for brows because I've only done 4 brows. So what am I charging? 300, $400? Okay, well, I now have only had 2 people this month, and that's only $600 to $800. Well, my rent at my place is 1,200. What do I do? You have to be smart about this stuff, guys. This isn't just gonna, again, you don't just come into this making all of this money. And then it's very expensive. Again, like I said, I started off small with my makeup business, and I remember having like a caboodle, not even like a big kit, and I had to make that work. And I remember doing work on like video music sets and doing stuff. And I remember I remember one time I was so embarrassed because I just kind of got hired for this job. And I mean, they had literally every ethnicity out there, and I had 4 foundations to make it work with, and I did, but I didn't. I had to mix and make and do stuff. I didn't have the kit that I have now. That's just it's just everything that you could possibly think of in that kit. I had to make it work, and I had like 4 palettes to work with, and I didn't have enough brushes, and so it was a lot. And I remember because I didn't have the money. And I wanted to get myself out there, and so and no one knew really. I don't think anyone actually knew that I was struggling, but I was, and it's fake it till you make it kind of, right? Sometimes, and that's how it works. And I'm telling you guys this because I know some of you are out there starting a business and trying to make it work, and you might be discouraged because you've only got one client this month, and now you're looking at the holidays, and then the holidays are coming in, and now you don't have anybody because now they're spending money on their kids, or they're spending money on their trip that they're going on, and now you're worried, and I get that worry. I've had that worry. It's a gut-wrenching feeling to know that you are hurting financially, and now you've put all this money into something, and then you don't know if you're going to get any return from it. And it's so scary. But the thing is, you've got to keep pushing. You've got to keep trying, keep working, keep bringing people in. I can tell you, if you keep that momentum and keep people talking about you, ask your family and friends for help. And if they can't help you by giving you something financial, what they can do is they can tell their friends about you. That is free. They can tell their family, their friends, their coworkers, hey, did you know that Texas is starting a new business? He's doing this. Yeah, did you hear what he's doing? Or, hey, Sally's going to open up a new brow bar. She's doing brows now. Did you know that? Oh, hey, you should go talk to her. She did my cousin's brows. She did my brows. I did so much free work, and I did so much stuff to get myself out there so early on. And again, this is before social media, that it became kind of easy for me to kind of sell myself, if that makes sense, because again, there's a lot of makeup artists. I know them. I knew people that were doing makeup a lot longer than me and doing great things. And I was like, I was watching what they were doing. How were they getting jobs? You know, and I asked questions. I wasn't ever afraid to ask them, "How did you get that job?" I mean, it wasn't like I was trying to steal their job, but I was trying to find out, well, how did you get a hold of them? Did you talk to like, did you get an agent or what did you do? And so it became this thing where it was always a learning experience, but it was not easy. Starting a business isn't easy. It's easy if you have a ton of money and you have all that money to throw away. It's that simple. And I know people like that because we all know that person that started a business. I got a boutique and they married someone rich or they have a rich family and they're like, you're like, girl, that's great. You got a boutique. Great. I had rice and beans. So, it's like, I mean, we've all been there, right? And it's easy for those type of people because they got money. And if you're on the rest of the world spectrum where most of us don't have that money just to throw around, it's not easy. It's not easy getting into rent, guys. I've looked into rent in my area and a surrounding area for some of my students for getting into salons and getting into suites for what we do, and it's going to run you anywhere from $400 to $600 a week. That's the standard in Texas where I am at, and so you got to think about that. That's a pretty big chunk of change. That's like around anywhere from 2,200 to maybe 25, 2,600 a month in rent if you want a nice spot. I'm sure you can find places that are cheaper, but again, that's what you're looking for. You're looking at getting a license, your license for your tattooing. A lot of places are going to, require that. Some states don't, but a lot of states do. In Texas, you have to get a license for your facility. It is not a license for yourself if you're doing permanent makeup, cosmetic tattooing. It's not a license for yourself. So Texas De La Rosa doesn't have a license. My business does. And that means I have to go to that business to do work. I can't tattoo at someone's house. I can't tattoo in Dallas on the weekend because I have friends out there, and doing it legally unless I'm working in a place that has a tattoo license. So again, all those things, that runs about $975, I think, for 2 years. So you got to think about that. Your machines, all your machines. What are you going to buy? Are you going to buy the crappy little $89 mass tour? Probably, because that's what most of you buy. And that's okay. But you're going to want to invest in something better later down the line. I promise you, you will. I see it every day in groups that people are like, I have this Y22 or the mass tour or this and that, and it's not working. It's my needle's not coming out. My machine isn't working. And it's like, yeah, because it was a cheap machine. I have machines that I've had for years and nothing's happened with them because they're quality machines. So again, you're going to want to invest in that. A good machine is going to run you anywhere from $600 to $1,300, $1,400. So again, pigments, inks, everyone's now getting expensive. Remember back when they weren't super expensive to buy a bottle of pigment, and now you're looking at some bottles are $80 a bottle. It's crazy. So again, you just got to think about that. Building your portfolio, doing things are again outside of the norm for what is going on. When you are trying to sell a business, you're trying to really sell yourself, right? What you do. You offer a service. Yeah. Well, so does 7 people down the road from you. Again, why do they have to come to you? Why do they want to come to you? Yes, probably because of the work. But what do you have? What do you have that's different? And whatever that is, you need to find it and hone in on it and make it perfect, make it great. I think a lot of people come to see me honestly because I am good at what I do. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm good because I've busted my butt to get here. But also because again, I have a fun attitude and a fun vibe. I try to make everyone that comes into my facility feel like they are a rock star, feel like they are a celebrity. They are the most important person that's in the entire world to me for those 2 hours because I want them to feel that way. And when they leave that way, they tell their friends, oh my gosh, it was such a great experience. That's what you need to do. You need to have people that are in the same mindset you are. You cannot be in this negative mindset and I have kids, I have this, I can't do this. That whole woe is me thing isn't going to fly. It's not going to work. It's not going to make you get better. And I know this sounds harsh because sometimes that's not what you want to hear. I've had to tell myself that. No one wants to see me upset and be angry and be sad. They want to be around someone fun and they want to be around someone that's going to be enjoyable. And that's part of the world that you're putting yourself into. It's called manifestation. You manifest what's around you, right? I've always put out there that I wanted to do things, and some of those things have come to fruition like that, and then some of them took a long time. Meeting Ethan Hawke took a long time, but I did. And I've not only met him, I got to work with him for 4 days during a press thing that he was doing for a movie here, and I got to help him get dressed, and it was crazy. And I had a big crush on him in Reality Bites. Loved him in Daybreakers. Loved him in Gattaca. I have the Gattaca poster from when I worked at a video store when I was little. So I've been not trying to brag, but hey, I put that out there. I wanted to meet him, and I did, and it was crazy. He was really cool. But I got to say this, guys. You have to get off of that path you're on. If that path is negative, if it's not seeing your way out of it. I know that sometimes it feels like it's going to be forever, like you're never going to get there. You're never going to make it big. What is big? What are you trying to do? I didn't care about working with celebrity really and doing all the stuff that I do. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to do things that made me happy, and being able to create something and make others happy by what I created. That was what I did, and that's what I focused on. And that's when I think I became successful, was I wasn't chasing this dream. I have friends that are chasing dreams, and they're not hitting them because they're thinking about it the wrong way, or they're not allowing themselves to be humble and start from the bottom and move their way up. You can be, again, great at what you do, but if you don't know how to market yourself and your mindset isn't right, you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. Okay, so I promise you, it's about mindset, being positive, seeing the good in what you're doing now and what it can do for you later. Networking, again, is one of the most important things too. Just not sitting back and paying for ads on Facebook or Instagram or boosting posts. That doesn't really suit people. I always tell people I get a lot of work from my social media, but again, the majority of my work comes from word of mouth, because I'm out there. It's so funny to me that I, again, was just out last night with friends, and I told a friend that I do laser and this and that. And she's like, oh my God, you're doing all that. I need to come see you. And then we talked about hydrofacials. And then this other girl was like, oh, hydrofacials? I didn't know you did that. And then it just turned into this whole thing. And now I've got like 6 people that were excited about what I do. And I told them why I love doing it. Why do I like doing it? I'm one of those Dr. Pimple Popper people. I watch those videos on my phone, and I'm sitting there just going, oh, but it's so gratifying to see it come out, right? So when that pimple comes out, or that cyst or whatever. And guys, I love doing hydrofacials because I am that person. I like to see it all come out. So I tell my clients, when you get a hydrofacial with me, I promise you, it's not going to be one of those little quick little 5-minute jobs that they're in and out with. They're going to get taken care of. And then we're going to talk about products, and we're going to have fun with it. And it's going to be cool and exciting. And it makes people excited when you're excited about what you're doing. If you're upset and angry and not having a good time and it's all just negative, you're not attracting anything good in your world. And I know this sounds harsh. And again, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or make anyone upset. I just want you guys to know that it is a mindset. You have to be in a certain mindset to get somewhere and to go somewhere. I think that people that can understand that, once they do understand that, things do start happening for them. Things do start getting better, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to put this out there, guys. It's not easy to start a business. It is not easy. And this is not by any means a business coaching thing. I will do one soon for you guys. I've been thinking about that lately with a lot of people have been asking in the group, about different how to start your business and how to do this and how to do that, because a lot of new artists don't understand that. And I've really been thinking about doing just a full-on Zoom about it and talking to them in the group. So if you're not in my group, please join Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals. It's on Facebook and Instagram. We just got our Instagram, and so please follow us. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, because again, I do know what it's like to start at the bottom and now be somewhere where what I guess, quote unquote, people would call successful. And I think success is different for everybody. If success means you are in the film industry and you're working on sets and you're doing crazy things and you're getting to play with, crazy makeup and doing stuff, then that's successful. If success means making 6 figures, well, then do it. but you're going to have to work hard to get there. And it's not going to happen overnight. And anyone that's telling you that you're going to take their course, to do their marketing, do this, do that, and in a month you're going to make six figures, they're not telling you the full story. I can promise you, when I hit that level, it was not because I took a course, to coaching from somebody. And I'm not saying that they're not helping people, because let's be real, a lot of times you learn, even in a bad course, a bad situation, you can learn something from it. But I'm just telling you guys, this get rich quick scheme is not a thing. It is a scheme. That is what it is. Scheme by definition. It is not going to happen for everybody. So I want you guys to think about that, and also think about your mindset. What do you have that other people will want? What sets you apart? What is your demographic that you are in the area of looking for? What do they do? What can you do to bring people in and want to come see you? Okay. Also, reaching out to your neighboring businesses and going in and saying hello. If you don't know who your neighbors are, go say hi. It's good. It's good to know who's around you, because guess what? They may be looking for what you offer. And if you don't give them the information, they may not ever come in and see you. I know that. It's crazy because I know this just happened to me just the other day. I was literally thinking, I need a dentist. I need to find a dentist because I bit down on something and it hurt. I think I have a filling that got kind of loose or something. And I was like, I need a dentist. Literally the next morning, I walk in and my boss's dentist is sitting there with her chatting. And I was like, oh, you're right there. Holy crap. I completely forgot you're there. It happens to me. I drive by this dentist office every single day. And I didn't know that she was the dentist on site. There's a big sign that says, smile, dentist on site. And I was like, that's you? Oh, of course I'm going to go see you. You're right there. You're right by my office. That's perfect. It happens, man. I promise you, when you want something in the world enough, it will happen. But you have to allow it to happen to you. And I promise you, sometimes we put up our own roadblocks. I've done it. I know I have. I've put my own roadblocks up there. I've made things harder for myself. And I've also learned that lesson. Okay. So I want you guys to take from this what you can and make it into positive. Start small and then work your way up. If you're already at a point in your career where you're ready to do other things and you have the finances to do it, then take the other courses, learn the things, come see me. I will teach you. I love teaching. Again, that's why I got into this world, was to make people feel better and then also get better at what they're doing. That's why I think I love teaching so much. I am not a patient person, let me tell you. By definition, that is not something I have. Patience is not something that I have. I am very impatient, and everybody that knows me knows that. But for some reason, when I'm teaching, I have all the patience in the world. And it's something that, again, I love doing. So it doesn't bother me. I don't care if someone's taking longer to figure something out. I want to get in their head and find out why they're not figuring it out yet. And what can I do to make it better for them? And so that's how I want you guys to think about this. If you're starting a business, reach out to people that are successful, and some of you are not going to get answers. Some of you are going to get people that don't want to tell you things. But again, you want to surround yourself with people that want to help you and see you succeed and see you become successful. Ask me questions. I give it all away. I just did a video, an exit interview for my student, and that was one of her things. She was like, you give the book, you give the world, you give it out. And it's because I don't care. I want you guys to get better. I want you guys to have everything at your fingertips. And to me, it's like my boss, when I first started with teaching with her, she was always like, oh my God, she got it kind of nervous. She was like, you're teaching all these people all your methods and your things. And well, what are we going to do if you're making the market more saturated? I'm like, no, I'm different than they are. They're different than I am. I am not for everybody. And not everybody's for me. I mean, some people are going to want to go to other places and do other things, and that's cool. No hard feelings, man. I don't go to I go to the same hairstylist and things like that. But, I go places that I want to go to. And that doesn't mean that this person or that person is better than the other sometimes. It just means that I like this person, and that's okay. And I think of it that way. I always think that, want people to have options. There needs to be options in the world. I also can't tattoo everyone in the world. I can't do everyone's laser. I can't do everyone's makeup. It just doesn't work like that. There is always room at the top of the mountain for all of us. And that's what I want you to take from this too, is that we've got to start helping each other out more, asking for help. If you don't have anyone that wants to help you, again, reach out to me. There are lots of people in my group and cosmetic tattoo professionals that are very willing to give you lots of information and help you if you ask, if you put it out there. I know, I see it. I see it all the time. And I'm so blessed to have so many great people in my group. So I'm so thankful. So again, if you're not in CTP, please join it. Answer the questions, because it's very important. If you don't answer the questions, then usually we'll just let you sit there. We have thousands of people trying to get in, literally thousands, and I don't let them in because I don't know if they're an artist, and I'm very kind of particular about wanting them in, or if they're looking for school, or if they're looking for this. Some of these people just join groups to join groups, and then they want to chime in, and I don't want anyone getting bad information from someone who isn't even in our industry, and they're trying to tell us what to do. That happens a lot, and I know you see it in other groups. So I am like a hawk with that. But guys, I promise you, there's a lot of good people in the group. I promise you. So okay, I'm going to quit babbling. I hope you guys take this message that I'm putting out there, that no, this is not a get-rich scheme. What I did, nothing I've done in my career has been a get-rich-quick scheme. Trust and believe, because I wouldn't have lived off of, again, that, rice and beans and stuff for so many years, and then kind of got where I was going, and, pasta and red sauce. I mean, again, humble beginnings, man. I would have had everything that I wanted when I first started makeup, but it just didn't happen like that. So again, it takes time. It takes time. You have to be patient, and you have to, again, ask for help. Ask for help. We're here to help. That's what I'm here to do, and I want that to be known out there. So again, guys, if you have any questions about this, please leave comments down below. Please share this video with your friends, your groups, because I think that everyone needs to hear this. Sometimes people need to have that come to Jesus. This isn't you're going to make 6 figures in 2 months situation. It's not how that works. I don't know any job that really does that. And again, all these people are out there saying that it can be done, and it can. It can. I mean, it can, but it's not. It's very small group of people that can make that happen so quickly. So again, I mean, it didn't happen for me, but I am successful now at what I think is successful, and I am happy with my career. I love my career. I love my students. I love my group. I love where I'm at. And yeah, so you can too. You can too if you work hard for it, and if you remain in it. Remain in it. Don't just jump in and jump out. Those people that do this, again, those people that want to hop in from one job to one job to one job, they were in this MLM, I'm selling this, now I'm selling that, now I'm selling this, I'm doing that. Those are the people that don't really make it sometimes, because they don't stay focused enough to make it better and work. So again, if you have any questions about this stuff, please leave them down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a blessed day. And I'm going to see you guys at the next video. Again, these videos come out every Monday. Sometimes I do them earlier. So again, if you want to, please tell your friends, like and subscribe to these videos. And again, I hope you guys take this message, and I hope that it maybe sends some good positivity to you and out there in the world. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Again, my name is Texas De La Rosa, and please just be kind to everybody. It's the holidays. And yeah, that's it. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.